Hello, and welcome to my presentation, Spark the Love of Learning Math Through Motivation. My name is Brittany Smith, and today I'll walk you through how motivational theory, classroom research, and my own field experiences helped me understand what drives student engagement in math. During stage one of this project, I worked with students who were struggling with math persistence, confidence, and overall motivation. In stage two, I'm connecting those experiences with motivational theory, specifically Wiener causal attribution theory, Wingfield's expectancy value theory, achievement goal theory, and self-determination theory. My goal today is to equip you with 4 practical strategies that are supported by research, grounded in theory, and tested in real classrooms so that you can support students who struggle with math motivation. Why motivation matters. Math is one of the most emotionally loaded subjects for students. As shown on this slide, many students experience math anxiety, self-doubt, and a strong fear of making mistakes. This emotional response immediately impacts motivation. When students believe they can't succeed, their efforts drop, even if they have the ability. Research shows that math disengagement increases when tasks lack real-world relevance. According to Wingfield, students often ask, why do we need this? If they don't see meaning, they won't invest mental energy. Finally, students will shut down when tasks feel too hard or too easy, something known as the challenge sweet spot. This aligns with the proximity of development. If it's too easy, students will be bored. If it's too hard, the students will panic. Motivation thrives when tasks are optimally challenging. So it is very important to make sure that your kids understand what they're learning, why are they learning it, and what is the purpose of it. And also making sure that there is a challenge in everything that they're doing. So you want to make sure that the activities and the lessons, the targets, learning targets that you are giving your kids match where they are currently at to give them a challenge, but also making sure that they're able to pick up on that concept. Okay, so we're going to be talking about my 2 incidents that I realized that motivation does have an impact on students' learning. Okay, my first incident, as I am a elementary teacher, one of the important things that we learn in math is multiplication, and I had a student who just had a very hard time with learning their multiplication fluency. I worked with a student who avoided those fluency tasks. The student repeatedly made statements like, this is too hard. I can't do this. Why can't I work on something else? I need to go back a grade. I'm not ready for this. These statements are classic indicators of ability-based attributions, meaning that the student sees math performances as a reflection of fixed ability rather than the effort or strategy. This is directly connected to Wiener's causal attribution theory, which describes how individuals interpret their success and failures. When students attributes difficulty to lack of ability, especially in math, they experience shame. They experience shame and they will stop trying. This incident helped me deeply understand how attribution patterns influence students' willingness and engagement and persistence. My second motivational incident is where I realized that many students disengage due to various backgrounds, stress, and low tacit value. So understanding these factors is crucial for implementing effective motivation strategies in your classroom. This aligns with the expectancy value theory, which argues that students' motivation is shaped by whether they believe that they can succeed, which is based on expectancy, or how valuable or interesting or useful the task feels. So, what's the value of what they're learning? This group of students, they really didn't see what the point of their math task were. Once I made content more relevant, tying in the real life situations and student interests, their engagement increases dramatically. These two incidents help shape the strategies that I will share with you guys today. Causal attribution theory. Attribution theory explains how students interpret the causes of their academic outcomes. On this slide, Weiner describes failure as being attributed to internal versus external causes, stable versus unstable causes, controllable versus uncontrollable causes. When students say, I can't do this, they are categorizing success as internal, stable, and uncontrollable, saying that I can't do this and I won't do this, and it doesn't matter what you give me or how you try to make me do this. I have already made it up in my head that I cannot do this. This mindset leads to a learned helplessness and low effort. When I shift student A's thinking towards effort and strategy as the cause of the progress, motivation increases. Celebrating those mistakes, modeling productive struggle, and emphasizing growth allowed me to reframe the student's entire relationship with math. So that's making sure that you have like your goals instead, encouraging your classroom to celebrate anything that is motivational. So as long as it's something that you can use to help push a student, celebrate it. Okay. Now we're going to talk about what are um, the four evidence-based motivational strategies. The first one we're going to focus on is the reframe attribution. Students need to help recognizing that math success is not about the innate ability. It is about effort, strategies, and persistence. In the classroom, this will look like praising efforts and strategies instead of the correctness. You tried 2 strategies, that's growth. Let's try 3. Modeling mistakes openly, allowing students to redo opportunities, encouraging error analysis rather than speed. Through reframing, student A learned to see difficulty as temporary and not permanent. This is backed by Weiner's model, which shows that when students perceive effort as the cause of the change, motivation increases because effort is controllable and unstable, meaning it can grow. It is okay to make mistakes, allowing the students to redo those opportunities, let them know that, hey, we can fix this, and praising those strategies. Expectancy value theory. Expectancy value theory underpins nearly every motivational challenge in math classrooms. Students are more likely to be engaged when they believe that they can succeed. Expectancy. They believe the task is worth doing. Value. This theory explains why disengaged learners don't participate even when they can do the work. The value is missing. They don't understand why they're doing it. In my classroom, increasing value meant connecting math to students' lives. Whether we're talking about going shopping, playing a game, weather, sports, art, or just the classroom roles. When students see the relevance, they shift from a passive participant to an active learner. Build task value for student engagement. This strategy directly applies expectancy value theory to parents. Students need meaningful tasks, opportunities for choice, and real life connections. Examples from my classroom include using sports data to make multiplication arrays, letting students choose between digital or hands on problem solving, connecting fractions to cooking or money, using weather charts for graphing or data analysis. When students see the meaning in math, value increases, and so does their motivation. Research consistently shows that relevance predicts persistence, especially for multilanguage learners and students who struggle with confidence. Creating a mastery-oriented classroom. Achievement goal theory argues that classrooms promote either mastery goals, which is focusing on learning, or performance goals, which is focusing on the grades or comparison. Mastery oriented environments create resilient learners. We can see key components like emphasizing the learning progress, modeling the mistakes, and pacing through the station work. Mastery orientation particularly benefits striving learners and students with anxiety. When students no longer fear mistakes, they become more willingly to accept challenging tasks. They learn to embrace productive struggle, which is essential in math. Support autonomy and choice in learning. The fourth strategy is rooted in self determination theory by DC and Ryan. Self determination theory states that motivation grows where three needs are met: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. When students feel ownership, engagement soars. Some examples from my classroom include choice boards, selecting manipulatives, letting students choose partners, student led demonstrations, offering two versions of the same task. Autonomy builds investments. Students begin learning because they want to, not because they must. Choice boards are a great addition to your classroom, especially if you have rotations or center activities. Allowing the kids to feel like they have an option in their learning is very important when it comes to their motivation in learning the learning targets, mastering the learning targets. Supporting diverse math learners. Effective motivation must be responsive to diverse learners' needs. We see how strategies adapt across groups. Multi-language learners will need visuals. They will have to see the CRA model, sentence stems. Expectancy grows when language isn't a barrier. Striving learners, having scaffolded steps and consistent routines, building competence through gradual mastery. Gifted learners, extensive problems, open-ended tasks, projects. Prevent boredom by increasing the challenge to keep their engagement up and the motivation to continue to learn. Students with exceptionalities, repetition, structure, alternative response methods are all of what they need. Ensure tasks remain accessible but approximately and appropriately challenge the students. Differentiation is a major key to sustained motivation. Key motivation strategies. Students need a protective space to struggle. Productive struggle, it is okay. Productive struggle builds persistence and deep understanding. Motivation is shaped by environment and feedback, then by the innate ability. This is supported by every major motivation theory we've discussed. Challenge must be just right. Tasks must sit in the sweet spot between too easy and too hard to keep the engagement and the motivation up as well. All of these principles form the foundation for creating motivated, confident math learners. Now it's time to apply these strategies. I encourage all teachers to apply at least one motivational shift this week. Small changes like reframing mistakes, offering choice, adding cultural relevant examples can significantly improve engagement. Motivation grows when misconceptions are addressed, student choice is provided, lessons connect to cultural and lived experiences. You truly have the power to spark a lasting love for learning in math. Reflection. Motivation, as I've learned, is shaped by feedback environment, and meaningful tasks. Theories help decode students' behavior. Relevance, autonomy, and mastery language must be intentionally woven into instruction. Applying these theories transitioned and transformed not only my student outcomes, but my teaching philosophy as well. Thank you so much for listening to my motivational strategies and improvement that I've made in my classroom, and I hope that you are able to take away something from this video. I hope that these strategies empower you to support the students who need the motivation the most, especially in math classrooms where confidence can make or break achievements. If you have any questions or want to discuss further motivational strategies, please feel free to reach out. You can comment on this video and I will respond back to you. Please like and share as well. And lastly, I have listed my references in case you wanted to go and research or learn a little bit more in depth of where I have gotten all of my theories from to incorporate in my math classroom. Thank you.